Hey friends, Cherie here. Welcome back to the channel, Gardening at Home with Cherie. Well, today we are back to start some micro dwarf tomatoes and some other seeds. So just a quick update, yesterday we set up together all these different microgreens and various leafy greens as well as some onions. A day before that, we got the hydroponic system set up. And we have germination with our fresh seeds, so that's very exciting. They'll all germinate at different times, but I'm just glad to see germination on these particular varieties because they were ones that, I gotta wipe that off. But they were ones that had not germinated from the old seed pack, so I got some new ones, and then some of them are just new varieties. So I'm gonna go through doing a little inspection there, get those domes off of the ones that have germinated. We'll do that in the evening. But yeah, right now we're gonna go ahead and get some tomato seeds started. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna start, I have a pile here of some of my micro dwarf tomatoes. I have a pile here of some dwarf tomatoes. I have some cherry tomatoes. I have some basket tomatoes, and I have some like full-size indeterminate tomato seeds as well. And then I have pulled some pepper seeds, including lots of seeds that I saved myself. So like these are Pippin's Golden Honey pepper seeds from the 2021 garden season. I have a lot of, these are some seeds from 2022. These are, I grew a lot of the sweet chocolate bell pepper for the first time in the 2021 garden season. I have several bags of these saved seeds. So, and one of my favorites also the sweet pimento. It looks like I didn't put the year. This was from 2021 probably. And so, yeah, and then I have some other seeds. These are from a company that I used to buy from in Europe that, this was before they cut off. Now you can't ship seeds, from the U.S. to other countries as well as into the U.S. from other countries. But I had gotten these back in I think 2018 or so. Whenever I got them, it was, I went on the site and ordered them, and they shipped from, I can't even remember the country. Was it Eastern European country? I got a lot of my micro dwarf and dwarf seeds are also from that place. It was like a big seed bank, and they were preserving all kinds of rare seeds, and unfortunately you can't ship from them anymore, but I bought a lot of seeds from them that I still have never grown. So this year I'm going to try to start growing some of those as well. So I have peppers pulled as well that I'm going to go ahead and start. Now it's going to be a while before I can put anything outside. It's frozen tundra here in Minnesota for a while. But I do have a greenhouse, and I have another new greenhouse that will be heated. And so I'm jump starting some things a little bit earlier because I am going to try to grow out in the greenhouses for the very first time some of these warmer weather crops, in addition to some things that I know, can handle a little bit of colder weather, especially since I should be able to, for the first time, have heat in the greenhouse. And if that doesn't work out, I have plenty of room in my house to keep the plants growing, so that's also not a big deal, but that is my plan. So what I'm going to do, I have my seed pods. I'm going to sew these all together so they can be contained and easy for me to water until it's time to up pot them, because they might all germinate at a different time. Some of my saved seeds that I sow, they may not germinate, I don't know. So instead of putting them all in individual pots to start out with, I'm gonna just have this one controlled tray. This holds 78 of these pods. And so I'm just gonna fill it up. I'm gonna start with the micro dwarfs, And then I'll probably do some peppers. I know that for sure, this is going to probably be the only full-size tomato that I go ahead and start. And I'm gonna try to have this growing. I have a corner here in this grow room that I'm gonna put one of my, it's like one of those Vigo self-watering tomato pots, you know, with like the little trellis and everything. I'm gonna try that in that, and I have a light for it. And I'm gonna do this only because this beautiful tomato, I keep forgetting to grow. I got these for the 2024 grow season, didn't grow them last year. So I'm gonna crack this pack open, and I wanna grow these tomatoes. I saw the pack as I've been sorting and like resetting my catalog. And I'm like, oh my God, these are just so cute. So I'm gonna try these. And then I'm probably gonna go ahead and start again some of the cherry tomatoes early with the hope of putting them in about maybe like 12 weeks out into the greenhouse with some heat, and I'm gonna see how they go. All right, so let me get some water into this tray to expand these pots. And then while those are expanding, I'm gonna go through. Some of these I know are duplicates in here, so I'm gonna sort out what's what, get my labels written. Yeah, and then we'll get the labels written, and then we'll be ready to sow some seeds. Okay, so my pea pods are all hydrated, and my labels are ready. And I think it's 16 different varieties of micro dwarf tomatoes that I'm gonna start right now. Some of them I'm doing multiples. I'm doing 2 pods of, and then some I'm doing 1. And mainly it's just based on the amount of seeds I have. Some I had multiple packs of the same one, and so I'm gonna go ahead and sow 2 pods of those. All right, so I got a total of 24 seed pods started. Let's go over the varieties. These are the micro dwarf tomatoes. So I did 1 pod of the bonsai micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 pod of the Aztec micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 pod of the yellow balcony micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 pod of the rosy finch micro dwarf tomato. I did 2 pods with the Pinocchio orange micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 pod with the just regular red micro dwarf Pinocchio tomato. I did 1 of the Maneka micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 of the Birdie Rouge micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 of the yellow dwarf micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 of the Venus micro dwarf tomato. I did 1 of the Pygmy variety micro dwarf tomato. I did 2 of the Joculus micro dwarf tomato. I did 2 of the Andrina variety micro dwarf tomato. I did 2 of the Micro Tom tomato. This seed does have some information on the back of it, and I've grown this several times. I grow this actually outdoors in pots also. This is one of the world's smallest varieties. This compact variety does not disappoint when it comes to performance and flavor. Great for containers. So yeah, I put this in a bunch of different pots last year outside, just mixed in with herbs and stuff. It's really amazing how such a small plant can put on so many fruit. The orange hat tomato is one that I've grown several times as well. Let's see what it says here. It says the extra dwarf bush plants grow just 6 to 9 inches tall, but produce oodles of tiny orange orbs bursting with fruity sweetness, perfect for growing indoors or on the patio, or as an edible ornamental in beds, borders, or mixed containers. So yeah, that's a classic little dwarf tomato. And I started 2 of those. I started 2 pods with the orange hat, And then the final 4 of the 24 pods have this mini bell tomato. This is an old seed pack. I've been using this for a couple years. It's from 2020. And this was back in the day when, you know, Baker Creek would say a minimum of 25 seeds. And they would dump so many seeds in your pack. I mean, look in here. This is still more than 25 seeds. And I've grown this tomato every year since 2020, sowing multiple seeds. And here, each of these pods, I put 2 seeds in. And so hopefully they're still quite viable. We'll see. I think I got a fresh pack of these as well in the vault, but I'm just working my way through these old seeds. So we will see how they germinate. But again, hopefully I'll have 24 lovely micro dwarf tomato plants growing very soon. So next, I still have a bunch of pods to fill. So I think I'm gonna move on to and just start a bunch of peppers. I have a lot of saved seeds, and like I said, I have these seeds that I bought from that one company in Eastern Europe, and I'm gonna figure out how many of those I want to sow. I don't think I'm gonna start any of the dwarfs yet. I think it might be a bit early for those. We'll see. I gotta do some calendar. I gotta look at the calendar, do some backtracking. But like I said, I will definitely start a couple of these California tulip tomatoes. So yeah, I might fill. Do I want to do that many peppers though? We'll see. Let me get this figured out, and I'll be back to tell you what I did. All right, so I did another row of tomatoes. I had some more. These are basket varieties of tomatoes. So I did 3 cells with those. Then I got my California tulip tomato. I did a strawberry Sergeant pepper tomato and a Thornburns terracotta, because these were I already have a lot of these seeds in these, and then I found these little free packs I had gotten with another order, so I went on and sowed some of those. So those will be 3 larger plants that I'll be growing. And yeah, I'll dedicate some space indoors just to see what happens if I need to up pot them. I mean, I have plenty of space, so. And then I did 6 of the pepper seeds that I had saved. So I did a cell with the sweet pimento, a cell with some store-bought organic jalapeno peppers that I had saved. I did the 2021 Pippin's Golden Honey that I saved. I did a 2022 Bowden seed pepper that I had saved. I did a saved sweet chocolate pepper. That's a bigger bell pepper. And then I did a saved banana pepper. I found another open pack of this mini bell tomato as I was sorting through some more seeds. I'm gonna save these tomatoes, I think. I think what I'm gonna do now is just sow more pepper seeds. I pulled some varieties. I pulled a couple of bags, and these are varieties that I know the plants stay quite compact with. So I definitely want to do all my different varieties of jalapeno peppers first, and then I'll get in there and decide. And I think that's what I'm going to do. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 42 pods. I think I'm going to do all peppers in these remaining 42 pods. So let me get the seeds sorted, decide what I'm going to do, get my labels ready, and I'll be back. All right, so I got the pepper seeds sorted. I'm going to start with, actually over here, a bunch of jalapenos and a nata pino. A nata pino is a variety. Let me show you. It says here, love the flavor and crunch of jalapenos, but can't take the heat. This truly heatless jalapeno is perfect for those with sensitivity or aversion to the heat of traditional jalapeno peppers. Great for pickling, stuffing, poppers, and salsa. This variety is very early and prolific. So I like to grow these every year along with my hot peppers. And then again, I have some other varieties. So I'm gonna get those sown, and then I'll move on to the next batch. So I'm gonna do jalapeno peppers. I'm gonna do some of my cayenne peppers. And then I have just a mixture of other peppers that I'm going to do. All right, friends, so we are done. So I have 78 different pods sown. I have a bunch of different varieties of jalapeno peppers. I have, I did 2 varieties of Malaysia pepper, the orange one, and the red one. Okay. Here are all the different seeds. And as they grow, I think I'll do an update video because I don't want to go over everything too much right now. But I did a variegated mini bell pepper. I did that patchwork pepper from row 7. I told you about the jalapeno. I did the Murasaki purple pepper. I did the sugar rush peach, fish peppers, the orange fish pepper, Aleppo, black Hungarian, lots of different things, a mixture of sweet and hot. And I went through and picked varieties that I saw from my journal notes that stay actually pretty compact and that will, if they start to fruit indoors, which some of them I want to, that's why I did some of the early varieties, and I did some like kitchen counter top varieties like this Fresh Bites orange and the pizza pepper. Those stay really small and compact, and you can grow those in your kitchen in a pot. But anyway, I picked varieties on purpose that, from my experience growing them, the plants themselves stay pretty petite, like under 2 feet tall, but they put out a lot of fruits, flowers and fruits. So that's what I'm going to start with. As I mentioned again, I should have here in mid to late spring a heated greenhouse set up, and so my plan is that things will be transferred, and so we're right at that around 12-week mark, 12 to 14-week mark for starting those things before being able to put them out into the greenhouse. And so yeah, I'm just, every day I'm going to be down here sowing some seeds, and I will bring you along as often as I can. Another round of peppers here ready to go. I have the dwarf tomatoes sorted, and I have the cherry tomatoes. Those will be next. And then probably some eggplant. I have my list, and I have my calendar, and I have my 2026 garden plan. So I'm just, going to be working through. And at some point, I'll be starting to sow the seeds for the outdoor garden as I continue to start things specifically for growing and eating indoors. You can see here some of the things that we started yesterday and the day before are starting to germinate. And yeah, I'm looking forward to at some point doing a harvest in here and showing you guys what grew and how long it took. All right, I'll see you guys back here again soon, maybe even tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to start some of the root crops as well. So we'll see ya. Take good care. Bye.